Namo Namaha. Swagatam to the Vedas, Vedangas and Upangas series. This video is about another Vedanga called Kalpa. I would say Kalpa is the backbone of Hindu culture. Knowingly or unknowingly, each Hindu is closely associated with this. How? You will come to know in this video. And also, there is a lot of geometry in Kalpa texts. In fact, the theorem that we now know as Pythagoras theorem was in the Kalpa text written by Rishi Bodhayana much before Pythagoras came up with his theorem. Stay hooked to know more. This is the 12th video in the Vedas, Vedangas and Upangas series. So far we have seen an overview of the Indic knowledge systems. A lot of things have been covered about the Vedas. The 4 Vedas are also discussed individually. Then in the Vedanga category, I had told about Shiksha. If you have not yet watched them, please consider watching them, although you don't need to watch them to understand this video. In the previous video, I had quoted a shloka which describes the Veda Purusha. I will again quote it here. Chandaf padau tu vedasya hastau kalpotha pathyate jyotishaamayanam chakshur niruktam shrotramuchyate shikshaghranam tu vedasya mukham vyakaranam smritam tasmat sangamadhityaiva brahmaloke mahiyate. If we give a human form to the Vedas and call him Veda Purusha, then we saw that the Shiksha was his nose. The verse says, Hastau Kalpaha. The Kalpa Vedanga is his hands. Why is it his hands? Because Kalpa is a Vedanga that gives clear-cut procedures to be followed while doing Vedic rites and rituals, like how a particular ritual is to be performed, what karmas are to be performed by each varna, the 4 varnas being Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. So these are not just for one particular varna but for all, and what duties are to be performed by the 4 ashramas, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa, what materials are to be used in each ritual, which ritual involves which mantra, how many priests should perform a particular ritual, and also what vessels are to be used in a ritual, including the description of the shape and size of the vessel, are all mentioned in the Kalpa Sutras. And in the beginning of this video, I said Kalpa is like the backbone of Hindu culture because all the marriage rituals and rites are based on Kalpa Sutras. Not just marriage rituals, but the procedure of many other rituals that are part of the Hindu household are based on what great seers have described in the Kalpa Sutras. More details coming up in this video. The Kalpa is also called Kalpa Sutra. The Kalpa Sutras have 4 branches: Grihya Sutra, Shrauta Sutra, Dharma Sutra and Shulba Sutra. First, let us look into the Grihya Sutras. The Grihya Sutra is for the Grihastha, meaning for the householder. The Grihya Sutra texts are the ones that have shaped the Hindu traditions and customs. The Grihya Sutra texts contain the ritualistic procedure for the Shodasha Samskaras that all Hindus go through during their life. Before I speak about the 16 samskaras, let us first understand what is a samskara. It is said like this: Samskaro hi nama karyantara yogyata, meaning preparing something for its usage in a proper manner is called samskara. Samskara does 2 things: doshapaharanam, meaning removing the doshas. Doshas are the defects, and gunadhanam, meaning adding qualities. Take for example the Upanayana Samskara. This Samskara is done to make a person fit to receive the knowledge of the Vedas. Similarly, Vivaha Samskara is done to make the bride and the groom fit to lead a married life. How the Samskaras make a person fit to lead a married life? To know that you have to read and understand the Vivaha mantras and also the Vivaha Samskaras written in the Grihya Sutra. Let us have a look at the various Grihya Sutras that are present. We should at least listen to the names of these great sages. For Rigveda, these are the Grihya Sutras, Ashvalayana Grihya Sutra, Kaushitaki Grihya Sutra and Shankhayana Grihya Sutra. For Shukla Yajurveda, the Grihya Sutras are Paraskara Grihya Sutra, Katyayana Grihya Sutra. For Krishna Yajurveda, the Grihya Sutras are Manava Grihya Sutra, Bharadwaja Grihya Sutra, Agniveshya Grihya Sutra. Also in Krishna Yajurveda, there is Baudhayana Grihya Sutra, which is the oldest Grihya Sutra among all. There is also Apastamba Grihya Sutra, Hiranyakeshi Grihya Sutra and few more. An interesting fact here is Apastamba Rishi is the student of Baudhayana and Hiranyakeshi is the student of Apastamba. This is a very interesting thing because it clearly shows the amount of freedom a student had. Just because Apastamba was Baudhayana's Shishya, it doesn't mean he had to follow whatever his teacher said. He was free to start his own school. Of course, there is no drastic difference between the two schools, but there are some changes and the student was free to uphold his view. Blind faith towards the Guru was not the way of living those days. We see this kind of Shishya differing from Guru's thoughts and opinions, not just in the Kalpa literature, but in other fields of knowledge in Sanskritam. Now let us look into the 16 samskaras mentioned in the Grihya Sutras that have shaped the Hindu traditions and customs. The Shodasha samskaras are, first one is Garbhadhanam, literally means receiving the pregnancy. This is a samskara because in Vedic way of life, the pregnancy does not happen accidentally but very consciously, very intentionally. It is considered as a very holy process. Next samskara is Pumsavana, then Seemantonnayana, which is popularly known as Seemantam, which is done when the woman is pregnant. The first three samskaras were before the birth of the child. So even before conception, a person undergoes samskaras or preparation for his purpose in life. The next will be after the birth of the child. Jata karma, it's basically welcoming the baby into the world. Namakaranam, definitely every Hindu has undergone this samskara, the naming ceremony. Nishkramana, this is the first outing of the baby. Annaprashana, this one is also very popular when the baby eats the first morsel. Karnaveda, ear piercing, this one is also very popular and most of you have gone through this one also. Chuda Karana is tonsuring ceremony. Nowadays it's mostly done in temples. Then comes Vidyarambha, where child starts his or her education. This is also very popular in the south. It is called Aksharabhyasaha, where the child is made to first write on rice or paddy. Then comes Upanayanam. This is the samskara for preparing the kid to receive Vedic education. After the Upanayanam, the child was sent to the Gurukulam to live and study with the Guru. Then Vedarambha. This happens in the Gurukulam, the starting of Vedic studies. Then Keshanta, the removal of hair but not fully. A tuft of hair is left at the center. This is called Shikha. Even now many traditional families keep the Shikha. Next comes Samavartana, which is a graduation ceremony. Then if the person chooses to be a householder, he or she will undergo the Vivaha Samskara, the marriage rituals. After the Vivaha Samskara, the couple become eligible to create and maintain the Shrautagni. More about Shrautagni in the Shrauta Sutra section. The fire that was invoked during the marriage ceremony was not extinguished those days, but was maintained by the couple throughout their life. This Agni is called Aupasanagni. Every day, husband and wife made offerings to this Agni in the morning and evening. In the Hindu culture, husband and wife are considered as one single unit. So they together maintained the Agni. And the last samskara is Antyeshti, which is death rituals. Cremation is also considered as a homa, where the whole body is offered as a sacrifice to the sacred fire. Agni. Now let us look into the Shrauta Sutras. Shrauta Sutras deal with instructions for Shrauta karmas. Shrauta means that which comes from the Shruti. Shruti means Vedas. Shrauta karmas are usually big rituals done in big open spaces. For Shrauta karmas, 3 Agnis are established. They are Dakshinagni, Garhapatyagni and Ahavaniyagni. These 3 Agnis are called Tretagni. Interesting fact here is the Dakshinagni is maintained by the Grihapatni, the wife. By the way, the most important criteria to perform any homa or yaga is that only a person with a wife can do it. We can see the importance given to women in Vedic culture. Also, during those times, people performed these Shrauta karmas very sincerely, even though it was a costly affair. So they considered their branch of Shrauta Sutra as their branch of Kalpa Sutra. If you have undergone the Upanayana Samskara and if you know the Abhivadanam that is done while prostrating to elders, you will be mentioning the sutra name, like for example Apastambha Sutraha. This sutra that is mentioned during the Abhivadanam is actually the Shrauta Sutra. But nowadays, Shrauta Sutra has taken a back seat. Grihya Sutras have become more important because they are used in the ceremonies. The video is becoming too long, so I will continue about the Shulbha Sutra and the Dharma Sutra in the next video. Shulbha Sutra contains the Vedic geometry. If you found this video useful, then please do give it a like and share your thoughts in the comments, and also share this video with your family and friends. And if you have not yet subscribed to Tattvam, please do subscribe to Tattvam. I post valuable Sanskrit related content regularly. Agrima video मध्ये पुनर्मिलामि. नमो नमः.